Okay, so we're going to try and integrate this function here, the natural log of tangent x divided by cosine squared x with regards to x, and our parameters are pi over 6 to pi over 3. Now, just before we proceed, just to check here, pi over 6 to pi over 3, the natural log of x here, our tangent x values for this are all positive. So that's important with our natural log of x. If we went to numbers where tangent is negative, then we're into complex numbers. So first of all, tangent x, cosine squared of x and log of x. What can we do to try and integrate this function here? Now, cosine, we need sine to go with that if we're going to do a u substitution. And for natural log, we're struggling with trig functions. But tangent x, we know, goes well with secant squared of x. When we're integrating, we can do a u sub with that. And we also know that 1 over cosine squared of x, that equals secant squared x. So that's a trig identity we can do for this, because basically this here is the same as having 1 times that divided by cosine squared of x. So let's rewrite our integral. Pi over 6 to pi over 3, and we've got the log of tangent of x, and then instead of dividing by cosine squared of x, we will write that as secant squared of x and multiply it, and then integrate with regards to x. And then what we can do is here, as when we take the derivative of tangent x, we get secant squared of x, we can do a u sub and let our u equal tangent of x. So let's do that. So u equals tangent of x, and then taking the derivative, du equals secant squared of x dx. So dx equals du over secant squared of x. And then from this we can see that good things are going to happen when we do our u substitution. Okay, so let's change our parameters. So pi over 6 to pi over 3. So if x is pi over 3, u equals tangent of pi over 3. Well, tangent of pi over 3 is the square root of 3. So that takes care of that. And then u equals tangent of x for pi over 6, that is now 1 over square root of 3. So that takes care of our parameters. So that's the first step to go into our u variable. And then log of tangent of x is just log of u. So I'll put that in a bracket. And we don't need the absolute value because over these parameters we know it's going to be positive, so that's fine. And then secant squared of x, I'm just going to put that in there now just to show our cancellation. So dx equals du over secant squared of x. So you can see straight away these two cancel out, and then we're left with natural log of u. So let's just write that in there. 1 over square root of 3 to square root of 3 natural log of u du. Okay, well we can integrate this off straight away. That's a standard integral. So that just becomes u ln u minus u. So that takes care of that, and you can rewrite that if we like to u ln u minus 1. So that's our integral there, and then not forgetting our parameters. So whichever one we want to choose, let's choose this one, and that's from square root of 3 to 1 over square root of 3. Okay, so what I'm going to do now we've done the integration, we need to find our value. So I'm going to take this off the board, bring it up to the top, and let's calculate the value of our integral. Okay, let's calculate our value. So we've got u times ln u minus 1, first of all at square root of 3. So we've now got square root of 3 times the log of square root of 3 minus 1. That's our first value. So let's just put that in a big bracket and then subtract it when we've got 1 over square root of 3. So big bracket 1 over square root of 3 and the natural log of 1 over square root of 3, and then subtract 1 and then close that off in a big bracket. Okay, now how we're going to do with this, this looks a bit of a mess. We've got square roots everywhere, minuses and reciprocals of square root of 3. Let's do some tidying up. So square root of 3 I'm going to leave there for now for this one. Now the log of square root of 3, I can rewrite that as the log of 3 to the power of a half. So the log of 3 to the power of 1/2, and then minus 1 times square root of 3. So then that becomes minus the square root of 3. Okay, so that takes care of all of this. Now let's take care of this. So now we're going to subtract this value here. So that's minus log of 1 over square root of 3 divided by square root of 3. So that's that one there. But then we've got this minus 1 here. So now we're going to be subtracting minus 1 over root 3 times minus 1, which becomes positive 1 over square root of 3. Okay, now we can rewrite this log of 1 over square root of 3 as we did with this one and just do 1/3 to the power of a half. So let's rewrite that with that in mind. So that can then become the natural log of 1/3 to the power of a half. So then we've got all the square roots in the natural logarithm taken care of. Okay, now let's rewrite this and let's see if we can match up some terms. Now using the log properties, if we've got something to the power of a half, a log, we can bring the half out to the front. So let's do that. So then we've got root 3 log of 3 divided by 2. So if we bring that half to the front, so that over the 2, and then log of 3. So that takes care of that. And then we've got minus square root of 3. Let's just leave that like that for now. And bring this one next to it. So that's plus 1 over root 3. Okay. Now what about this one? So same as before, the half can come out to the front. So that become, let's just write it like this for now. So the half will come out to the front, which will give me 2 over square root of 3. So 1 over 2 times square root of 3. And then the log of 1/3, if I take that as the log of 3 and then change the sign, that will become negative log over log of 3. And then this minus sign, 2 minuses, that will give me plus. So then I've got plus log of 3. So that would take care of that. So that's all of these terms put together now. Okay, now let's put the logs together on this side here, and then we'll have a look at what we can do with these two constants. So I've got root 3 ln 3 over 2. That takes care of this one. This one here, log of 3 divided by 2 root 3. So I'm going to leave that one there as that. Plus ln 3 over 2 root 3. Now what about this one? That looks a little bit awkward. So minus square root of 3 plus 1 over root 3. Let's have a look at this minus square root of 3. So minus square root of 3, if we multiply that by square root of 3 over square root of 3, multiplying them together will give us minus 3 over root 3. So that will be the same. And then if we just add 1 over root 3, we'll end up then with minus 2 over root 3. So this plus this will give us minus 3 plus 1 over root 3, which gives us minus 2 over square root of 3. Okay, now that, I'm going to submit that as my answer. So that's the answer to our original integral, this one here. That's our answer, square root of 3 times log of 3 over 2 plus log of 3 over 2 root 3 minus 2 over square root of 3. Okay.